don't see anybody else. Oh, Janet is there. Good. So I'm so incredibly honored that Hazzan Natasha Hirschhorn is with us. I'm gonna read for you all this, but I also want to tell you something that I just thought about. Is she's going to be talking about Ahot Ketana, the little sister, and I felt it was terribly appropriate because I feel that Natasha is a bit of a sister to me, so it's a good thing. But I'm going to go to the process here and be very polite and introduce you comme il faut. So Hazzan Natasha Hirschhorn is the author of numerous liturgical and secular compositions and an accomplished performer and recording artist who has been featured as a singer, pianist, conductor, and composer at congregations, music festivals, and in concert halls throughout the country, including Jazz at Lincoln Center, Toronto Jewish Music Festival, and the Curtis Institute of Music, among others. She has served as the music director of Congregation and Sheikh Chesed in New York City since 2004. She's also the founding conductor of the AC Jewish Community Chorus, Shirei Chesed, and the Brooklyn Jewish Community Chorus, Shir Hadash. A native of Ukraine, Natasha has studied musicology, piano, and composition at Moscow's Nesin State Musical College and the Kiev Conservatory. Ordained by the Academy for Jewish Religion in 1999, Hazzan Hirschhorn has served on the faculty of both the H.L. Miller Cantorial School at the Jewish Theological Seminary and at the Devi Friedman School of Sacred Music at the Hebrew Union College. She's the music director and conductor of the JTS, Jewish Theological Seminary Cantorial School Choir, and has recently collaborated with the Grammy-nominated Western Wind Vocal Ensemble. And all that I said doesn't even capture her. So I just read it because I had to say something. Many of you know that Natasha is actually the dynamo of Shalshelet, Foundation for New Jewish Liturgical Music, and many other things, but more important than I talk, let's listen to her. All right?
Ramonico, hermano mio, thank you so much for this beautiful and kind introduction. So, hi everybody. It is a great pleasure, great joy to be here with you tonight. I know that our time is very short and the poem is very rich that we want to explore. So let's dive right into it. So, Ahot Ketana, a little sister. We have some family imagery in our prayer book, right? Especially in High Holiday, we turn to God and we say Avinu Malkeinu, not just Malkeinu, right? Our King, but we also say Avinu, our Father. The prophets like to talk about Israel as a wayward wife that then, reunites with the loving husband, who is God. So there's this family imagery, admittedly pretty patriarchal, but, it's there. But this particular poem, the image of the little sister is both rooted in the rest of the Tanakh, but it's also really is sustained throughout the poem as just a very gentle, a very loving, very, I would say, compassionate portrait of Israel who's a little sister. So the sexuality is gone. The difficulty of some of the other familiar relationship is gone. There is just tenderness and there is love. So this is the image of Israel as a little sister who is bringing her prayers to God. So there's many, many, many echoes in this poem from all kinds of other sources. I'll give you just a few because they're very, very, I think very familiar, will resonate with you. And then when we sing it and when we look at the text, you'll see like, oh, that's the one, or this is the other one. You'll recognize some of them. So first of all, Ahot Ketana Lano, we have a little sister. That is straight from the Song of Songs, Shir HaShirim. And in there, this little sister, she's so young, she doesn't even have any breasts yet. But in the next verse, she will. So she's growing up. So there is this image of really a little sister, like a really, really young girl, pre-puberty. And then there is this image of right in the first verse, El na refana la, right? We know that as Moses' prayer when Miriam, his sister, is stricken with leprosy and he's praying to God. So it's almost that way. El na refana lemachaloteha. Please, God, please heal all her wounds. So there's this little echo, right, from the Tanakh. And then you have many more, and we're going to be singing Matai tele bitcha mi bor. When are you going to pull out? Now it's no longer little sister, and this is your daughter from the pit. We remember Joseph being thrown in the pit and then miraculously rescued. And on and on and on. And of course, the big one is the closing line of each verse, which says continuously Tichle shana b'kileloteha. And then it says, which means let the year and its curses conclude, go away. And then at the end we say, Stachel shana uvirchoteha, and let the new year and its blessings begin. So we have this whole refrain that became so popular that it became part of a traditional blessing, traditional wish for the new year, along with just more typical one that maybe more Ashkenazim know, the Shana Tavati Katevu, may you be inscribed for a good year. Sometimes you can say the other blessing as well. So these blessings and curses. We're about to read Parsha Kitavo in this next Shabbat, which is all about the blessings and the curses. And so the language of the poem also draws on, and this is the time of the year, right, when Kitavo is read and when we're already beginning to recite. Ahot Ketana is part of Selihot, part of Elul. This is, our gathering today devoted to that. So, there's so much beauty in the poem. It's compelling at any other year. This year, to me, it felt like, oh my God, how much do we want this year and all its curses to end? And how much are we? How much we are ready to start the new year and to bring in new blessings into our lives? It's a particularly hard year. Regardless of anybody's personal circumstances, just for all of us, for our nation, for our planet. So with that, I want to introduce. So this is a little bit of the text. So let's take a look at the. Now I'll ask Ramon to share the text, and there are many gorgeous musical settings. I hope we'll get a chance to hear Emmanuel Aguilar's setting as well, but I'm not sure yet because we only have 20 minutes. So we're gonna sing fast.
You can have 30. It's okay.
It's all right. So we'll see if we get there. So this oh wait, I wanted to do.
That's
I
not
wanted
what
to
you
do
wanted?
no.
You wanted the
one that in the PowerPoint. Yeah, just look at the
sorry.
There we go. I think you'll be able to. So I hope everybody can see the Hebrew and the transliteration and the translation. So that you can see the other text just didn't have translation until the very bottom, and I wanted you to be able to see it concurrently with us singing. Ahot Ketana, the small little sister, Tivilateha, her prayers, Orcha be'ona tefilateha, she's preparing. So, and here is that El Narafana Lamachaloteha right away in that very first verse. So the melody that I am familiar with most is the one that I learned from Rachel Matzliach, and also Eli Melul has it pretty much the same way in his book. And Ramon shared with me a slightly different version from Tangier, which I'll also try to show you. But this is how I learned this melody. And it goes like this. I'll sing it once, and then I think you'll see the pattern, and you'll be able to sing it with me as well. Ahot Ketana tefiloteha Orcha be'ona tehiloteha En arefana lemachaloteha tifleshana ve'kileloteha. Right? So this is the melody. Now it's a little bit the pacing of it is a little bit not how we used to. The number of measures in each phrase is not square, but other than that, it's la da 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 da. That's the whole line, and then it repeats again. La da 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 da. La, 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 la. Now the third one is going to go somewhere else. So let's try. I know this is everybody's. I guess by now very familiar with the Zoom etiquette, where I cannot hear you, but you can hear me. And we're going to try to just sing, just with no words, the first line twice, so we can see how it works. La, 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 la. Right? Now, the beginning of the third line is the same still. Now it's going to go higher. Try just the higher part with me. Try it and so the whole third line will be now the last line will be the same as the first two. So let's sing that together. Good. People asking for a low key. Absolutely, we can keep going lower and lower. I will be delighted to do that. So so we can do it here. Why not? So this is the number one now. La 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 la. Try that. La 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 ya la 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 la. That's it. It's happening. Try it again. That will be the second line. La 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 la. Right. Now the third one is going to go a little bit higher in the middle. Try it. That one. La 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 la. Back to the beginning. La 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 la. So are we gonna try and just sing it? I'm gonna actually not go on to the next verse yet, but I wanted you to have a chance to really anchor yourself in how this melody works with this text. So instead of going on, we're gonna sing a few times this first verse. So, and every time maybe you'll feel a little bit more confident to jump in. I feel like if we keep changing the Hebrew, it's gonna throw us off, and I want you to stay with me. So this is where we're gonna go. So we're gonna start with Ahot Ketana. Ready? 3. Ahot Ketana Tefiloteha Orcha Be'yona Tefilateha Elena Refana Lemacharoteh Tichle Shana Vekileloteha. How's everybody doing? Yeah? All right. So this is, we're getting used to this melody. Now, this melody, to my ear, compared to the melody that Ramon shared with me, the version from Tangier, this one is already a little bit more westernized. Because you can kind of hear that this is... You still hear this is a home note, and we're going to end on it, and there will be no surprises, even though the phrasing is a little bit different. So now, just for fun, I'll sing for you the Tangier melody and see how it's different. You can see they're sisters, right? They're relatives. But notice what is different and what is not happening in that Tangier version compared to the one you just heard. Ahot Ketana Tehiloteha Orcha Be'yona Tehiloteha Elena Refana Lemacharoteh Tichle Shana Vekileloteha. So let's stop sharing the screen just for a moment. So, because I would love to see everybody, and I would love to hear what do you hear in these they're definitely related to each other, right? But what is different? What do you guys hear?
I hear in the Tangier version that it doesn't resolve the way our ears want it to resolve at the end of the phrases.
Right.
In the first 3 sentences, it's okay because it leads into the next phrase, and so it just keeps on going like a needle that's getting momentum. But the last one always gets it because I'm like, wait.
But wait, yeah, I know there's more verses, but that's the last one will also end the similar way, right? So what we're dealing with is a completely different sense of what a musical mode, right? What it offers to the text. If you look at any musical text as a way of like a musical midrash to the text. And of course, we perceive this the way I hear it because of my Western training is, and the same thing for Karen, right? We perceive it as unfinished. But for somebody who is finished, who is used to this mode, to this, it's just a gentle ebb and flow of the melody. There's much less expectation of arriving to a certain place. There's much less frustration of not having arrived to that place, right? So it's a fascinating thing that those of us trained in the Western music will walk away from the Tangier version with a sense of maybe something unfinished or frustrating. And those who are raised in this tradition will say "Home, Sweet Home," right? And that's a little bit of sort of the, you know, that yes, we will have different reaction to different melodies, and we will also shouldn't expect that our reaction will be the same as somebody else's. We could have completely different reactions, right? Depending on what we grew up with, what is familiar, and what feels therefore more authentic or more correct, right? So I just wanted to make that point. So this is a lovely that's a you know, clearly related melodies, but slightly different versions. Ramoniko, if I could ask you to share with us this gorgeous version that you shared with me. I only learned from Ramon. I didn't know that particular version, but I love it so much. This is written in the middle of 19th century, and again, we're not going to hear the whole 3.5 minutes of it, but you get a taste, and I guess you'll know where to go if you want to hear more. I'll leave you with a taste. There's more to hear, but we're gonna just stop here. Beautiful, right? Absolutely. And what a different setting, right? What do you hear here? What color of the text become apparent when you hear this particular setting of the same text?
Very medieval sounding, very Gothic, almost like that medieval quality of early church music.
Well, there's their particular accompaniment, the way it's done, very sparsely, that you hear really just two voices. That I think that brings a little bit of that quality. But again, it's very modal, right? And
Yeah. I wanted to add that our friends from Kolota Lev probably are familiar with this melody because we, in our studies of music, Spanish, Portuguese from London, have actually sung an arrangement by Aguilar, a 4 voices arrangement that I think I shared with you.
Yeah, I have it. Yeah.
And so they should find this melody familiar, kind of like a Renaissance twist to it. And we should say, for a very good reason, I'll say this very quickly, so I'll let you talk. But one has to remember that the Jews, the Spanish Portuguese Jews from London, went for 200 years, all the way from 1492. They went to Portugal. They were expelled 100 years later. They went to Flanders, what we know today to be Amsterdam. And then from there, they moved to London, and they have forgotten a lot of things. Therefore, they had rabbis from Morocco and from other places to come to teach them. But they were, a little bit of what you were saying about Western music, they were also Westernized by the practices that surrounded them.
Right. So almost any melody that we take already carries in it the whole like slice of Jewish history. And the deeper you go, the more you learn, right? And in terms of, clearly, the first melody, I think it's beautiful. It's inspiring. And the first two versions of the melody we looked at very related to each other. And to me, they really capture sort of the much more just the general feeling of the tenderness of the text and the pleading and the whole dedication to what it feels like, to be looking at a little sister. And this melody obviously it feels darker, and it feels also more improvisational and more flexible with how it touches a certain parts of the text. There's a little bit more word painting going on. So that is fascinating as well, because it then is able to bring out different colors that you would not notice if you're in a very repetitive setting, right? So what I want to finish with is switch gears completely and go to a more modern setting, because I think one of the lessons of any really Jewish text study is that we want to know where the text comes from, and this 750 years ago, Abraham Hazzan Girundi, who put his name in the acrostic, right? So there's lots and lots of verses. We're only singing a few. We want to know where that comes from. We want to know what layers of meaning this melody, this poem acquired through each melody, through each melodic setting. We touched on a few, and there is so many more. But then there is a sense that even though it's like almost 800 years old, right? We have when we read this refrain, let this horrible year and its verses conclude, and the wonderful new year begin with blessings. We're saying, oh my God, yes, so true. I can relate, yeah. Right? It feels so incredibly relevant and fresh and contemporary. And so that is why I was particularly fascinated to see there's a beautiful setting by a contemporary young Israeli songwriter, Tal Naeh. I learned it a few years ago from piyut.org as I was browsing, and I just thought, oh my God, it's just so charming. And I can actually, I'll send you, I found a clean link to it, but not through piyut.org, so I'll send it to you, Raman, if people want to hear it in the original. But I want us to sort of leave all this beautiful, authentic musical settings aside just for now and try something that is really much closer to the musical vernacular of today and feels authentic as well, at least to me, and I hope it will to you. So before we start, I'm going to teach you a little refrain, and this is a refrain. We're going to look again, we can share the screen again, so we could so you could see that at least you can sing along, but it's a little bit trickier except for the refrain line, but you'll see where I'm getting to the refrain line. And there we go. Oh, so let's go back to the opening one. And so we're going to sing, I'm only selecting two verses, like the first two and the last two, there's 4 verses. And the melody that is a refrain goes like this. That's his first half of it. Try it with me. That was beautiful. I hear somebody singing so beautifully. Maybe Naomi. It's all right, but we may need to self-mute just so, because otherwise we're not going to be together. So that's, and then the second part of that is. Try it. So the whole thing will be. Ahot Ketana tefilotema, orcha ve'ona tehilotema, el nar refana lemachalotema, tichle shana be'kilelotema, שנה מתי תעלה מתחום מבור ומבית כלולה תשמור ותפליפל בצדך כגיבור לך תמדך למחלותיה תפנה שנה וקללותיה תחל שנה וברכותיה תחל שנה וברכותיה
Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you
Beautiful,
so much.
beautiful, beautiful. So we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I know it's a little bit of time, but we tried to make it short and sweet so people keep coming. I'm so happy to say that there are already more than 230 people registered. And already tonight it's more than 60 people that have come, of course, to listen to you. And I want to say to everyone that tomorrow night, we have a very, very, very special contributor that offers her korban, her gratitude, Shema Koleinu, with no other than our own Rabbi Gila Langner. So I hope that everyone can come and join us. And Natasha, מה שיוצא מן הלב נכנס אל הלב. Whatever you gave us, it came right to our hearts. So have no words to thank you for all this.
Oh, please. And thank you so much for teaching me also in the process as I was getting ready. And I learned something new from you, as I always do, Ramanika. So a great privilege. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Maybe we blessed for a year of blessings. We're done with this year of curses.
Yes.
Amen.
And Natasha,
so much.
before you get into your
good
madness, make sure to send the link of this version, please.
Oh, so absolutely. I will. Yeah, absolutely. I'll send it the same way. Yes, absolutely.
So
thank you.
Tons of people saying how beautiful this is.
Oh, thank you.
Everywhere. We want to say to everyone, Laila Tov.
Laila Tov.
That you have a lovely evening. We're happy, Natasha, that your children are well, and that your husband is well, and that Shana Tova, and I'll greet you with the Sephardic way that says, Tiski v'tichi v'tarichi yamim. May you merit to have a very long life. Laila Tov, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.